Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into another great edition of The Hop with Gabe and Steven. I'm Gabe. That's Steven right over there. What's up? We are here for another great round. Round 79 is here. We got a Taproom Special. We got 2 breweries. We got 3 beers. It's going to be one hell of a good time. So pumped.
2 breweries, 3 beers, Taproom Special. We got a twig today. We got so much to do.
We're prepared.
Also, I feel like I should just mention that if we're getting to the point where every week as we start to post these episodes, now I can't even believe the number when I type it. And
yeah, man.
So
it's crazy.
It's kind of nuts. But we're back. We're ready to get our drink on. It's July now. It feels like July now.
Oh, it feels like hell. Oh, God.
I have been complaining about how cold it is on the East Coast, and I just went to the West Coast, and it was delightful, of course, just perfect weather, and then I come back here, and it's just the complete opposite of what I was complaining about before.
Yeah,
but it's still gross.
It's not great. It was like 94 today in the city. I have lost some weight, though, from the heat, so that's looking at it in a good way.
That's a good start.
So we're going to drink about it. We are drinking the 2 breweries we got are White Marsh Brewing and Frost Beer Works. White Marsh out of Baltimore, Frost Beer Works out of Vermont. And the town is Heinsberg, but every time I look at it, I don't know about you, every time I look at it, I want to say Heisenberg. Just like
out
looking
of
at
Heisenberg,
it quickly,
Vermont.
Heisenberg, Vermont. I don't know.
Yeah, and what brings these 2 breweries together?
Beer.
Beer. They both brew beer, but both these breweries brew beer. So we are going to start off with the news. We're going to do our Taproom Special segment that we recorded down in Baltimore, and then we'll head back up the coast to visit Frost Beer Works, one of the great IPA houses in one of the great beer states. So I'm super pumped about it. Welcome in if you're new. We are The Hop. We drink beer. We have fun. That's our thing. You can follow the show on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter. We are at the HO Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube as a video podcast. If you want to watch the show, just search for The Hop, a craft beer podcast. You can subscribe. You can click the bell. You'll get notified whenever an episode goes live. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you listen. And if you find us, we would highly encourage you to rate and review the show on there. Your reviews help us make the show better for you. And who does that really serve in the long run, Gabe?
Everyone.
It serves you. It serves you, the listener. So help us help you by writing a review over on Apple Podcasts on their not so great, but they're working on it, new podcast platform over there. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts.
You can follow us there because
you can, do not
subscribing, I guess, is not a thing. So you have to follow.
Don't you dare subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. It will
stalk us. That's what following is, in a way. And as always, let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know what breweries to repeat. Let us know if there are any other states out there that we think we can get our hands on that we should definitely hit.
There are other states out there, Gabe.
There are other states out there. We're working on it. We are. We found White Marsh through we're calling it our midweek brewery tour. As we mentioned, we hit up Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Alexandria, some of those places. So we stumbled upon White Marsh and we said, hey, let's get a drink. And here we are. So yeah, let us know. We are here for you.
Let's jump into the news.
Beer news.
AB InBev Anheuser-Busch has promoted Brendan Whitworth to the CEO of their North American zone and the U.S. division. We have previously reported that Michael Ducaris, who was the CEO previously, is now taking over as the global CEO of ABI. Gentlemen, congrats on your new positions. Brendan has been the chief sales officer in the U.S. for ABI for quite some time, so they're promoting from within. Gents, congrats on your new roles. In other ABI news, speaking of which, in the less fun side of ABI, the Stonewall Inn in New York famous Stonewall Inn, has removed Anheuser-Busch products from their shelves, kind of to protest them giving money to politicians that favor positions, in opposition to support of trans rights and LGBTQ rights and that kind of thing. So the Stonewall Inn is standing with that community and removing ABI from their shelves. And to that I say, fuck you, ABI. Go Stonewall Inn.
It was really cool because there was a video surfacing. I don't know if it was the owners or people in the bar, but they were all outside pouring out bottles of beer, of the ABI products.
You love
and I
to
remember
see it.
watching thinking like, okay, they're wasting beer. I get it, it's cheap, but I'm not really sure what's going on. And then it all connected, and I was like, oh, so it was a very powerful statement. And there's a video around somewhere if you want to check it out of them just being like,
They're wasting bad beer. And so
it kind of balances out.
Yes. Obviously not a sponsor of this podcast. In other news, keep an eye on those alcohol to go laws as well. They are expiring in many states, including New York. They've officially expired in New York, I do believe. Have you noticed, Gabe? So it's an ongoing thing. We've talked about it, and we're going to continue to talk about it. But, state by state, governors and are making decisions based on, should they allow people to continue the alcohol to go thing. Restaurants obviously want to keep it going. It's a good source of revenue for them. The people who don't want to keep it going are liquor store owners because they want liquor to be bought in their liquor stores.
It makes sense. I see the side of it. But yeah, I think a lot of people in power are like, all right, vaccines are a thing. Everyone's back to starting to slowly get back to normal. You don't need that to go. And it's like, all right, well.
But we liked it.
Yeah, it takes the fun out of it, if you will. But what are you going to do? Moving right along, not so good news. We would like to metaphorically pour one out for a great beer founder. He is the founder of Flying Dog. George Stranahan has passed away. Very sad to see. Doing a little bit of research about him. This man's life apparently is a lot more than beer that we came to realize and came to learn about. He was born as an heir to the champion spark plug fortune. He mixed physics and beer in a way. He was very involved with physics, and he was teaching at Michigan State University and founded the Aspen Center for Physics, a Colorado gathering spot for many of the world's top physicists. So, I mean, he's definitely had a very good life, and he's been doing all sorts of things like that. It was really cool to see, and he became a cattle rancher. He invested in Aspen area businesses. And, oh yeah, by the way, on a random Tuesday, he founded Flying Dog, which was insane. We really wanted to go visit Flying Dog during our midweek brewery tour. We were unfortunately unable to, but we would love to go back very soon. They're not far from us. We love their beer. We featured them on the show many, many episodes ago. Go back and listen. And, we just wanted to give a special shout out to the man himself, George Stranahan. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all you've done. We appreciate you, sir.
And while we're in mourning, we also need to mourn the closure of a tap house that is very near and dear to my heart. This is a Denver tap house. It's called the Falling Rock Tap House. And to be quite honest with you, this is not something that would normally make the news section of our show. It's a local bar. But it's a dope beer spot in what I consider to be one of the beer capitals of America. And since I've been there and have a picture of myself next to their Falling Rock sign, welcome to the show. And
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Basically, the owners, who are Chris Black, Steve, and Al Black as well. So the three brothers, they made the announcement last week in a blog post, basically saying it's been a long 5 years pretty much, and the pandemic was just the icing on the cake. There's a lot of competition. They're having trouble with staffing. There's construction in the area. So it's the final straw for them, and it's time for them to hang it up. But it's a staple of the craft beer scene. I mean, this bar opened in 1997. I was a mere 5 years old. And it's for a long time been considered the unofficial headquarters of the Great American Beer Festival. We know that festival happens in Denver. It's just a dope spot, beautiful ambiance, huge bar, tons of taps, and it's a real blow for the Denver community. I mean, I've been there once when I was passing through Denver. I would go back in a heartbeat if I was given the chance, but basically, it's just time for them to hang it up. So may you rest in peace, Falling Rock Taphouse. Thank you for the laughs, the love, the beers. It looks like they sent it off with a bang.
That's good, as they should.
Yeah, but it's definitely a blow. So, it's just a reminder that if you have the means to get out and support your local tap houses, your local restaurants, your local breweries, these places are struggling. And as I said, the pandemic was not the only factor here. It's a tough space anyway, but the pandemic was the icing on the cake for them, and they're having, it's just hard to keep these businesses running, especially right now. So
for sure,
it's tough to see. And with a place with as much of kind of history and as much of a footprint and all of that, for a place like that to go out like this, it's just a reminder of how much harder it even is for the places that are a lot smaller than them. So get out and support your local tap houses.
We need to keep them alive because we need to drink beer.
That we do.
Let's get a little more fun. The news are a little down right now. Let's pick it back up with one of our favorite segments.
This Week in Gross.
And by one of our favorite segments, you mean the one we love to hate, right?
Yes.
The one we hate to have, but these breweries keep making us do it.
It's always kind of fun. It's like ew, what? But I enjoy it.
For the third time.
This one might make me mad though.
Friction Labs and Wincoop Brewing Company have joined forces to create a limited edition beer. It's called the Belay Hazy IPA, and here's the problem. It's a IPA made with athletic chalk. Now, I kind of thought that This Week in Gross might end up being retired soon, because I thought, we've done tomato, we've done pickle. I mean, how many weird ingredients can we keep finding in beer? And then
chalk.
And then Friction Labs came into the equation here. Now these are
Friction Labs said, "Hold my beer. We've got a beer for you."
We're staying in Denver here. These are both Denver-based companies. Wincoop Brewing is out of Denver, and this comes from a press release they released to Brewbound. They said the chalk was added during the boil and helps during the fermentation process by contributing minerals that help with strong yeast metabolism, which results in a cleaner and more vigorous fermentation because it buffers the no.
You're putting chalk. Okay, listen. Tomato, basil, yeah, gross. But tomato you can eat. Pickle, okay, gross in a beer, but you can eat. You're telling me that you're just snacking on a piece of chalk?
I've never thought in my lifetime. I should take that back. Maybe when I was like 2, I accidentally ate some chalk. But outside of that, I've never thought about putting chalk in my mouth. There are 5 varieties of hops in here: Centennial, Mosaic, Sabro, El Dorado, and Halito Blanc. But I'm going to guess that the problem with all of that is the chalk on top of those hops.
There's athletic chalk in a beer. It says, chalk will create a pillowy texture and accentuate the juicy mouthfeel. I'll call bullshit. No, it won't.
Now, here's the problem with this, is that this is a charity beer. Proceeds from the sale of this beer will benefit Friction Labs' diversity and climbing program, which launched in this past spring. And Gabe and I are hugely in support of that.
Yes.
So, but we're not in support of the beer. So we're kind of caught between. We're in a pickle, if you will.
This is not a good place to be in.
This is tough.
I love the program. I love the cause that it's for. Absolutely. But
the chalk, though.
I don't have to drink it. I can give it to someone else, right?
Yeah. There you go. Maybe just hold. It's like when you drive past like a lemonade stand and you're like, wow, I really don't want your like shitty Crystal Light lemonade, but I'll give you money.
Go buy a popsicle.
Like, we can skip the part where I have to drink this and pretend it's good. Just let's hear.
Listen, we're all adults here. Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. Wow. It's made with athletic chalk, which it's not like sidewalk chalk.
Does that make it better or worse? I don't know how to react to that.
Well, let's think about this. What is the definition of athletic chalk? Exactly. Exactly. I don't really know. And yeah, we could have looked it up before this, but we didn't.
But we're just here to shit on their beer that we don't know much about. We're not here to do research, people. But for real, this is I don't know who thought of, like, I get it. You're climbing. I just don't know why. I bet it's a hazy beer though. It might even.
Can you imagine if it was see-through? We made this with chalk.
Yeah.
Why can I see through it?
Where's the chalk? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Support those businesses, but not for me, dog. That's gonna be a dog.
No. Yeah. You can't put something you can't eat on its own in a beer. It makes it pillowy. Yeah. It also gives you disease.
This is why they make those commercials where they're like shitting on craft beer drinkers. It's because of things like this.
Exactly. You guys are making us look bad. Jim Beam commercials. We see you.
All right, Gabe. Propose a toast and let's go down to Baltimore.
Yeah. Let's get into some White Marsh and Frost with a poet by the name of Robert
Bobby Frost.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The road not taken by good old Bobby Frost.
Uh-oh. We might have our first ever repeat toast on the hop.
Did you do that one too?
We had to have done that for the Two Roads one, right?
Probably.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'd have to go back and look, and we don't do that kind of research here. But
listen, here's the I'm just going to be completely honest with everyone. I feel like it's my responsibility to be honest. The other poems are just way too long. I'm sorry. I thought about cutting them. I was like, we can make an edit, but I felt that would be disrespectful. I felt this one was perfect length. Here we are. If it's a repeat toast, deal with it.
I've never said no to a Bobby Frost poem. We are kicking things off with White Marsh Brewing. They are a brewery that we stumbled upon. We didn't seek them out. Yes. They just happened to be in our way. When Gabe and I are in a new place, the first step is to find out what breweries are in the area. And
our beer locators are like, all right,
that's number one. Where are we going to eat? We'll figure that out, but where are we going to drink? So we stumbled into White Marsh Brewing, or what I would call Red Brick Station. We'll talk about them. They're a restaurant/brewery in the Baltimore area, outside of Baltimore. But we had some beers. We brought them back to our hotel room.
Dope nachos, by the way. Let me just say that. Dope nachos.
Great wings as well. Highly recommend.
Yes.
So we're going to go do that, and then we will meet you back here for another brewery. But in the meantime, please enjoy another edition of our Taproom Special.
Taproom Special.
Yo, everybody, welcome back to another edition of our Taproom Special segment.
Yes,
we're here, back. We're doing it, and here's what occurred. We went to Baltimore, and we went to a brewery. And that's how White Marsh Brewing Company found its way on to the hop.
Yeah, dope spot. It's like a brewery/restaurant, more emphasis on the restaurant part, but
they got the barrels, they have the steel, everything. It's like a legit brew pub.
Casks, wooden casks.
Yeah,
tons of stuff on tap.
It looked dope. We got dope nachos, and we figured, why not? Let's get into it.
Yeah, why not? So we sat down there. We were gonna record at the tap room, and then it was a little noisy, a little crowded. We were like, let's just take some beer to go. So we're doing it in a hotel room. We've done it before, but here we are. We're kicking things off, and I'm excited about this with the Charlotte's Hoppy Red Ale. Now, They have a red ale on tap at the brewery. I had it, just a regular, standard red, amber, whatever you want to call it. This one is a hoppy one, and a hoppy red ale can only
be better.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he had the red amber ale. The other one I had, it was called They Made Me Do It. It's a blueberry ale. I love my blueberries. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this one, the one we have is kind of like a step above the red amber one you had. So this will be interesting.
This one is, so again, it's called the Charlotte's Hoppy Red Ale. It's kind of one of their special ones on tap. Beer Advocate has not rated it. Untapped has it at 3.43. It is 5.8% ABV, and the IBUs are at 50. So that's key because it tells you it's going to be a little bit on the hoppy side, which I like. It's just such a beautiful style. The red ale, the amber ale, that malty thing with those, it's kind of an English style. You want
hops, take a whiff of that. That smells like spicy hops. It's weird. You getting that at all?
I am. Yeah. First up front, it like hits you with the sweet, like the malt is there, the toasted bread, the caramel is there, and then hops behind it, sort of like a British hop or an Australian hop.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I it's been a while since I've had something like that, like spicy hot. Like spicy isn't the right word, but I feel like it's just different. It's stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also look at the color on it. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's like a nice copper color.
It's very like wood.
SRM chart, I would put it in the 20s. Yeah, definitely wooden, and it also poured with, half a thumbnail, I would say, of like this tense kind of
almost tan
fizzy
head.
foam. Yeah.
But it dissipated quickly. Now we just kind of have rings around the glass.
Yeah, not much lacing. It's pretty clean for the most part, but
and we got these kick-ass crowlers.
We have so much of these beers.
So we have a lot of beer to drink.
We got a lot of work to do. So, all right, let's kick things off. White Marsh Brewing Company. Cheers.
I wish I had another glass, but I don't. So here we are.
Here we go.
Caramel and toffee malt presence is there. It is hoppy. It is. I'm going to say it again. I think it's a little spicy. I rarely say this, but I feel like I want the ABV to be a little bit higher.
I mean, I would never.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But I just feel like, just for this kind of style, I feel like with a little more booze, it would give it even more.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely, it leads with, as you said, the toffee, the caramel, the malt. And then, as bitter tends to do, bitter takes over. I mean, I haven't sipped it in, it's been like 30 seconds, and I still feel like it's bite.
The bitterness, the bite is definitely there in the back end,
it's
for
strong,
sure, yeah.
As it should be with this kind of style. But to your point about the ABV, like the only thing a higher, a double hoppy red ale, the only thing a higher ABV can do to this is add a sturdier backbone for it to ride.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with this as it is. It's just that I have like El Segundo, for example, has a double, an 8% hoppy red ale. And
right. Yeah. I feel like it's balanced a little bit more. I don't think the balance is bad. I just think if it is higher in ABV, it'll give it even more something to like lay back on in a way. You know what I mean? But it's good. It tastes like a red ale for sure. We love this style, as Steven mentioned. This is one of our go-tos whenever we see it on tap. We just go and grab it.
So the place that they operate, so White Marsh Brewing is the brewery. They own and operate a brew pub called the Red Brick Station. That's where we found them. It's in the White Marsh area of Maryland. It's kind of Baltimore adjacent. It's they call it the Avenue A, I believe, and it's sort of like a mall, but they're outside the mall, and it's just like giant area, tons of people, tons of restaurants and bars.
Yeah, there's they have like an outdoor patio. We didn't sit out there, but it's part of like an outdoor space of other restaurants like adjacent to it, like a whole out like a park almost.
Yeah, and the reason I bring that up is to say that so this place was serving nachos, bar food, pizzas, fried calamari, crab, a lot of crab. Did you know that?
Maryland has a lot of crabs.
So the reason I bring that up is to say that this beer would go great with whatever it is you're eating. Like, this is a perfect, bar food. Hey, we just ordered nachos. This is going to be great with that.
And I wouldn't pick a specific food. I think anything on the menu would be good with this, even if you got seafood, even if you got crab, soft shell crab sandwich, whatever,
Yeah, because it's light enough, the ABV at 5.8%, it's light enough that it does work like a Pilsner, like a lager, but it's got enough flavor in there that it keeps you engaged. It's not going to take away from your food. It's only going to add to it.
Yeah, and it's a dope style that we all really enjoy. So, I mean, it can't hurt.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, it's dope.
So the company themselves, White Marsh Brewing, they were founded in 1996. They don't really have a brewery taproom space. Like, all their beers are sold out of this place that we're talking about, the Red Brick Station. We hunted, we tried.
Yeah, it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of Maryland. Listen, if you say you're open until 6, you got to be open until 6. We had a lot of other runarounds. We were running around all day.
We won't call those breweries out. But
no, we won't. But Google did not help us with that.
We had some weird customer service experiences today. But I stole this glass. I don't feel ashamed.
I don't think you should either. Yeah, that was great. We went out to dinner and we grabbed more beers and we left with a glass because why not? That's why I have the plastic.
I didn't steal it from a brewery.
No, we wouldn't do that. That's
stole
sinful.
It after a very bizarre experience somewhere else. But the point is, Maryland,
get it
if you
together.
say you're open till 6, dude, you're open till 6. Yeah. Or updated on Google.
But this place was cool because
they were open. That's not their fault. That's on us. We just went to the wrong address.
You can go to a brewery and you can stand there. I mean, it's very rarely that we go into a restaurant with like brewery beer. Like, we've experienced the craft beer scene in restaurants before, but like this place specifically was like, no, every beer on tap is legit. We don't have, Bud Light on tap. Like, this is the good beer place.
Yeah, it's funny because you go into this restaurant and if you didn't know that you were in you can see that they are brewing, but you wouldn't have. It really doesn't say White Marsh Brewing in places.
It says Red Brick Station Restaurant.
Yeah, so it's easy to miss.
Yeah,
but this is where all the beers are and currently are now. They don't distribute them as much as they used to. They lost their distribution channel in like 2008. And honestly, I don't even know if they can anymore at all, or if it's just all out of the restaurant.
I would assume it's out of the restaurant. I mean, I don't think that you can like buy this in stores. So we have exclusive beers.
Yeah. But they have really dope stuff there. I mentioned, when I was there that I had their red ale, which was not the Hoppy red ale. And, that was classic. That's what a red ale should be. And that's one of their go-tos. So they have like a core that is always there. And then this Hoppy red that we're drinking now is kind of part of their rotating tab.
Yeah.
And then if you want to talk about what you had.
I had the blue, it's called They Made Me Do It. It's a blueberry ale. It had blueberries at the bottom of the glass.
It was served with blueberries inside it.
And now, as much as I love blueberry ales, there is a point where sometimes I see that and I'm like, I don't know about this. But this was very good. This was another one of those, like, it wasn't blueberry juice. It was a beer with flavored blueberry in it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like. And it was that, I think, was like 4.8 or 4.9. Yeah. That was solid. It was very good. And it also went with the nachos, believe it or not.
Yeah, everything, the food was great. And the beers are there to really service the food primarily, I would say, first and foremost. But they have a really nice big bar space, huge outdoor space, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And some of the other stuff that they had on tap there, I mean, they have a Avenue Ale is one of their standards. That's a gold ale. They've got a stout. They've got a dry Irish stout.
We wanted the West Coast style, but I think they
tried it.
I think they were out, right?
That was one of their cask beers, and they didn't have anything out of a cask at the moment. So we lost out on that. But also they've got an American Pale Ale called Big Gunpowder. But they're changing stuff all the time. They've done barley wines. They've done they've done. And you can look on Beer Advocate and see, you got to look under Red Brick Station.
Right, yeah. Don't look up White Marsh. Look up Red Brick Station because it's part of it.
Yeah, but you can see on there all of the stuff that they've done in the past, and it's just it's worth
Worth a visit.
Worth checking out.
Especially if you're hungry. Especially if you're hungry. I recommend it completely. It was dope. And now we have a lot of this left. And we have another beer to drink.
We do.
This one's very similarly colored. I've got a glass this time. This is the Daily Crisis, and I thought this was cool. I wanted to grab this one because it's an English IPA, and I feel like I can't remember the last time I even drank one of those, let alone putting it on the show.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had one. I mean, I think when you say English IPA, stylistically, I think we're generally referring to the hops that are in here. Like maybe we're dealing with Kent Golding hops and less... it's certainly not a hazy New England.
No, definitely not. It looks like an amber almost.
It does. It's so clear.
It's very copper.
Clear.
It's 6.1%, 55 IBUs. Beer Advocate gave it an 82. Untapped gave it a 3.38. And again, it is called the Daily Crisis.
And this is one of their, go-tos, one of their classics. It's kind of on tap at the brewery all the time. So to that end, this one we actually have a description of from the brewery.
There we go.
They said, don't let the name fool you. This beer is no mistake. A light copper-colored ale with an intense hop nose and a distinct hop flavor with mild body and plenty of kick. For the true beer enthusiast, that's us.
That's us.
This beer weighs in at 55 IBUs. A great beer with lots of flavor, named after our friends at the Daily Crisis Dairy Farm here in Baltimore County, Maryland.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't know who that is.
Support your local dairy farm.
What they have to do with this beer, but sure.
Maybe they supplied the hops. I don't know.
But yeah, it's and the picture of it, like on the label. I mean, you guys can't see it, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it. But it is a cow. So for the dairy people.
Oh,
so there you go.
There you go. Nice. Well, it smells very malty.
Really?
I feel like I'm getting all malt.
There's some hop in the back in there, but it's definitely surprisingly malty for an IPA.
Huh. I think it's the English hops. I think they just kind of smell that way.
They're earthier.
Yeah.
It's not...
For sure.
It's definitely not juicy. I mean...
No.
Honestly...
And this is hilarious because this is what we always wanted, like, to get away from. It's like, well, then you don't have it this time.
Let us take note. This is like the first time we're putting our nose to an IPA, and I genuinely cannot say... maybe I could say guava, maybe, but I can't say grapefruit. Yeah. I can't say orange. I can't say pineapple. I can't say tropical citrus at all. So God bless you, White Marsh Brewing Company / Red Brick Station, whatever you want to call yourselves. This
White Marsh Red Brick.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it's interesting. It doesn't, I can't get like, banana, orange. Like I can't.
It's not fruity. It's earthy. It's spicy. It's got some peppery hops in there. It's
looks like there's a little bit of good lacing. The head retention was kind of the same way as the other one. Started off strong. Now just a ring.
This one's a little lighter than the last one. I mean, SRM chart wise, this is much more copper. I would put this more maybe in the. I mean, we don't have it in front of us, but maybe in the 12, 13, 14, 15 range as opposed to the 20s.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's crystal clear. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube and you can take a look at it, if you can kind of see through the light, it's like to find an IPA this clear is almost unheard of.
Yeah, it almost never happens. So,
well
White Marsh, thank you.
This is not like an IPA I've had anywhere else because if I had to pick a predominant factor on the first sip, now again, the first sip tends to be sweeter, later sips tend to be more bitter, right? So for those of you interested in sipping beers out there, just know there's an evolution of drinks. We talk about this all the time and it tends to get more bitter. But on the first sip, caramel, sweet, toffee, I mean, it's an amber.
Yeah, it's an amber, but it's not. It's an IPA and it's 6.1. I'm daring to call this dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, 6.1 is not a scary number.
Well, but maybe it's not for us, but yeah.
But it's definitely hiding the booze. I mean, but I can't find a whole lot of hop. That hoppy red ale is way hoppier than this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's so interesting because I feel like it'd be the complete opposite. Not just the ABV, but just because of the factors of the beer. But yeah, it doesn't have a predominantly strong, like, flavor. I feel like I just go to caramel, toffee, malt backbone is like the straightforward
idea that I get in my head.
I mean, the hops are starting to come in a little bit now that I'm drinking more of it, now that it's settling on my palate. And what I will say is that the Hoppy Red Ale was bitter in a way that was very earthy, very spicy, very intense. Mm-hmm. You know, even some like spicy, like out of your spice cabinet, clove maybe.
Yeah, honestly.
Black pepper.
Honestly.
This is bitter and has some bitter bite, but it's a little sweeter. It's more pine sap.
Evergreen tree.
I feel like our IPA vocabulary tends to be East Coast, West Coast.
Oh yeah.
And
this is middle Midwestern. Yeah.
This is English. I don't know.
It's not like an IPA I think I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Maybe that's on us. Maybe we need to drink more English IPAs because I didn't know y'all were doing a style that was different. To be honest, but
I like it though.
It's an IPA. It's more towards West Coast IPA if you want to think in those terms. Think of your Sierra Nevada Pale Ales. Think of your Torpedoes. You know, think of your Dogfish 60 Minutes. Think of those clear, biting. You know, a little more bite IPAs. And then just bump the sweetness up in front a little bit, and you've got add a little more caramel malt, which I think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
I'm intrigued with.
We didn't steal these glasses.
These ones we bought.
These ones we bought because I don't have a chalice like this. I feel like a king. Like if anyone like from far away looks like they probably think this is like brandy.
Oh yeah, the more we sip it, the more it looks like it.
You know what I'm saying? Like you just, of course. We have like cigars. Well, English IPA, we should be speaking with British accents.
This is very, very good. I like it a lot.
Do we dare rank these? I think we can.
I feel like we picked two beers that are so similar to each other in so many ways. I mean, they're both such kind of English styles.
Right.
They're both malty first with a hop bite in the background. They're both similar ABVs, similar IBUs. I feel like we picked the same beer.
Yeah.
But they're very different, though.
But they're very different.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting more, I don't know what, but more something off the Charlottes than I am the Crisis. The Hoppy Red as opposed to the English IPA. But both good choices.
I think my preference is the English IPA because I'm just intrigued by it.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Well, good for you. Lucky for you, we have a lot of it left.
So much of it. It's just a different style. Nobody's doing stuff like that right now. So that's always what we're looking for at every brewery we go to is stuff that catches our eye. It doesn't really matter if it's, as much as we
prefer something a certain way.
I was going to say as much as we hated that tomato, but honestly, we're not looking for that. But no, we're looking for stuff that...
We're looking for weird stuff. We're looking for different stuff.
We're looking for stuff. It doesn't have to be... This is the point, though. You don't have to put tomato in a beer to make it unique and different. You can do this. Because... Yeah, you shouldn't put tomato in a beer.
Yeah, but
nobody's making an English IPA like this. So White Marsh Red Brick Station Brewing Company... Good, great, from us to you. Honestly, you're on our show because we stumbled into your restaurant and because we plan like that.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we need food, we need beer. This place has both.
And then we liked it and we wanted to feature you guys. But my point is simply that to make a beer unique, you don't have to get funky and bizarre and put weird ingredients in there.
Right.
All you have to do is honestly go back to the classics. This is probably them going back to some English style we don't see anymore.
Yeah.
So dare to be bold. Also, what was that phrase that was on all the glasses there that is kind of their motto?
It says, I don't know, want a drink? Or I don't know, want a beer?
I don't know, want a beer. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like,
that's their motto.
That's their go-to. And it made perfect sense for the type of atmosphere. Great place, and if you're ever in Maryland or in White Marsh, near Baltimore
County. Go. And I did want to give a shout out to the founders who are Bill Blocker and Tony Mioli. I may be saying your name right, especially you, Bill. Not sure how you pronounce that last name, but I took a shot at it. But the point is that they founded this great brewing company, and I just wanted to give them BLOCHER.
Blocher? Blotcher. Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick founded White Marsh Brewing Company. All right, well,
all right, guys. Well,
that's our hotel taproom special.
Hell yeah!
Thank you guys again. We're gonna go to a different brewery now, so we'll see you guys back on the mics. Until then,
we're gonna go order room service. So we'll see you guys later.
We'll see you on the mics. Cheers. I loved that because again, as we said when we were down there, like it's the kind of thing like we just stumbled upon it, and it was great. It was just beer styles that, again, as we said, like this goes back to what we were talking about with the chalk. Actually, to make a beer unique, you don't need to put chalk or tomato or pickle or anything like that in it. You can make a beer unique by simply revisiting styles that we haven't. I couldn't tell you one other brewery that I've been to in the last month that's ever had an English IPA on tap, and it was something wild and different. It was sweet. It was malty. It was not hoppy at all.
And also shout out to Bill Blocher, who is currently the operating owner. We love you, Bill.
Good Blocher or Blocker or whatever I said when we were down there.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna go up the coast to Frost Brewing.
These guys.
That's what you can see behind me, or Frost Beer Works. I'm sorry. Love the logo. The O is a hop if you're not on YouTube. It's
very fun.
Kind of like our logo, actually, come to think of it. But
we didn't steal it. We promise.
We promise. We are just finding that out right now. But Frost Beer Works. So this is very much an IPA house. This is a place that's been doing it since I think 2015. So a lot younger than the brewery we were just at. But this place is all about the IPAs. Do they brew other stuff? Yes. But this is heavily an IPA house. So why don't you tell the people what we're getting into, Gabe?
We've got the Research Series Double IPA. It is an 8%er, is the one we have. Now, little bit of clarification. They make a lot of Research Series beers. They make a lot of doubles. They make a lot of singles. Now, fun fact about this one, if you look on the bottom of the can, it tells you what kind of beer you have. So the one we have is called Sad Turtle. It is super dope, and we're really looking forward to it. We'll go into all the other beers they have, but they do a lot of different kinds. But this one we have is 8%. On the SRM chart, it's between, I would say, like a 9 and a 12-ish in that range.
Yeah, it's an orange
dark
color.
Orange juice.
Yeah, I would not go so far as to call it amber, but it's also not really yellow or even golden. It's orange. Like a sunrise.
For sure. As far as the scores go, we don't know for sure if this is specifically for Sad Turtle. We did look these up, and it just said
it's actually almost assuredly not specific for Sad Turtle. Yeah. Sad Turtle is so like basically what we're saying is that like they do so much of these, they change them out all the time, and all of them have different names, and it's kind of hard to tell which one you're even drinking because they all just say the name on the bottom of the can. Yeah. Everything. The only thing the label says on any of these is Research Series Double IPA. So the Sad Turtle didn't make its way onto the interwebs in terms of reporting and stuff. So we just have a collection of numbers that might be an amalgamation.
We have like the general scores. Yeah. So for the general Research Series doubles, Beer Advocate 91, Untapped 4.02, very highly scored, very excited. From the brewery regarding the Research Series doubles that they have, our double IPA Research Series gives us the opportunity to make bold moves with hops involving varieties, dosage rates, and process, all in search of discovering new territories of aroma and flavor. So they like to mix and match, if you will, and that's kind of where the Research Series comes into play.
Yeah, most of them are New England IPAs, I would say. When the place started, they weren't really into IPAs which had a bite, like West Coast style. They were not really into that. This was, again, 2015, so we are talking about 6 years ago. Now they do some West Coast IPAs, but the majority of their research series tend to be hazy IPAs. We can't tell you specifically which hops are in here, but they play with a lot of them. And we're not just talking about the big ones. We're talking about hops like, Eureka hops, Amarillo hops, probably some Sassafras. So we don't know exactly what's in here. What I can tell you is that it poured with a nice sort of creamy white head, and the smell is extremely tropical. All the tropical citrus.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's not too overpowering, but it is very, very pineapple, mango, papaya-like. It's very, very nice. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think we each have a ring around the side of the glass regarding the head retention.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell on lacing here. I'm drinking out of a teacup glass. Gabe's got the mug.
I have the beer emoji.
Yeah. But I will get back to you on that. But the nose is extremely tropical, mango, grapefruit, papaya, all that stuff. Maybe a little bit of sap. There is some sweetness to it, but there's not a lot of piney bitterness. There's not a lot of dankness or hops. It's sort of, all of that comes from the hops, but you don't get a lot of the bitter on the smell.
Right.
It smells like juice. It smells just sweet,
yeah.
Sweet, and I'm so ready to take a sip.
I don't know about you, but I have had an extremely long day full of Wi-Fi problems, heat exhaustion, and just dumb people in this world.
Let's drink it all away.
Is coming at a perfect time. Salud.
So that's interesting to me because, definitely citrus and all that. But I think that in the mouth, it's way less sweet than it was on the nose. It was more grapefruit and grapefruit peel, more citrus, more earthy hops, more spicy, much less of the sort of mango, guava, that level of tropical citrus. It was much more just sort of your orange family, your grapefruits, your tangerines, even. There was, and some earthy spiciness to it, little hints of like ginger maybe, or like nutmeg, like subtle hints of some spices. I think the hops are a lot earthier in the mouth than you expect them to be when you take a sip, which is really interesting.
I would agree with that 100%. Tangerine, clementine, it's so prominent, but it's not too heavy or too much. It is still sweet, but I feel like it might be a little sweeter in the nose than it is on the taste. But it's very, I want to call it smooth. I think it's easy going down. There's not a lot of. One review I read online about the back end said juice bomb with pine hops to balance it out. And I don't know about bomb, but I would definitely agree with that to a certain extent.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a juice bomb either. I would say it's juicy. I would say, but I think in the mouth, like it's smooth. It's very well balanced, but I think there's a pepperiness to it. Like I wouldn't call this creamy necessarily. I think it's got some zing. No. It's got some lively carbonation going on.
8%.
Do you taste any booze? Because that I don't think I taste.
I don't taste booze. I feel like I taste hops a little bit if I'm tasting any sort of like beer sort of flavor to it.
Yeah,
but it is very prominent with those strong flavors that kind of balance
the earthy spiciness of the hops. Yeah. They have so many of these. Like I said, they have a triple, which I'm into triples right now. It's my thing. I really want to try it. But Frost Beer Works, they are a small microbrewery. They are, as Gabe said, in Heinsberg or Heisenberg, Vermont, whatever you want to call it.
Look at it real quick and tell me you don't want to say Heisenberg.
It makes me think of Heinz ketchup, to be honest. But
damn it,
the way they describe themselves, they say beer is our passion. That's a good start for starting a brewery.
Perfect.
We are committed to using high-quality raw materials, effective brewery processes to produce flavorful, well-balanced beers. The beers we make are the beers we like to drink. And that goes back to, I was reading an interview with the owner, who is Garen Frost, and he was kind of saying, initially he was going to do sort of maltier styles, sort of English things, German things, and then he decided, because he wasn't really into IPAs, but then IPAs grew on him. I think the New England style specifically grew on him. So you see that now they do a lot of that. Garen was a home brewer for years, always dreamed of owning a brewery. He sold his private business, which was Vermont Print and Mail, but then he kept the space, and that's where he started the brewery. And it was initially a small 7-barrel brew house with 8 fermenters and bright tanks, a bottling line, and a tasting bar. They didn't distribute at all, or Garen was doing it himself, hand distributing.
Not bad.
Now they've gotten a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, and if you're on YouTube, Steven is in front of, is that just their main facility?
This is, there's not a lot of pictures of their tap. They do have a tap room. I don't know if it's open right now, but they do have a room with taps where you can go have stuff on tap. And yes, this is it. It is a nondescript building. Again, it used to be a print and mail house, so that's it.
That's interesting.
And it's hard to find pictures of inside it, but it does exist. So it's one of those, it's industrial. You pull up to it and you're like, where's the brewery? And then you see a sign, and then you go in, and it opens up.
I love that feeling, pulling up to a brewery and being like, why are we in someone's backyard? Oh, here it is.
After years of doing it, I've finally gotten good at no, we are in the right place. Just look around. We'll find it.
Just believe. You got to believe.
Except for at Duclaw.
Oh, yeah. That was a big swing and a miss. That we're still upset about it.
You got called out.
This was a mail place, so you think they got stamps? They got beer stamps? Breweries have to send out mail, right?
That would be fun. That would be real fun if they had their own stamps. I wonder there's got to be a way to do that. But the brewery is now recognized as one of the top must stops for craft beer lovers in Vermont. They say their intention is to craft balanced beers with low restrained bitterness. See, that's what I was saying before. That showcase the aromas and soft flavors hops can produce. Think tropical and citrus characteristics, specifically elements of papaya, pineapple, passion fruit, mango, peach, orange, and grapefruit.
Case
check
in
mark.
point.
Yeah,
for real. Yeah,
well done.
Well done, guys. That sounds about right. I did want to mention real quick, on their Instagram, which is full of awesome pictures, because there are so many of the research doubles and single IPAs, one of the main pictures they took, so for this picture, the can says 80 IBUs on it. Our can doesn't have the IBUs on it. We believe it's 30, but it could be 80. We're kind of unsure. But one of the descriptions that I really liked regarding research and trying new things was they say, a research series double IPA where in addition to playing with different malts and hops, we alter our base water profile for some extra pizzazz. And that's how you know that they are doing it up. I mean, they are literally doing research and experimenting in a little bit of a way for the different styles of beers. And I'm sure, although they look the same, each beer is very different than the next. And that just caught my eye.
They do all look the same, which is going to make this next segment kind of pointless. But you know what? It's in the run. It's in front of me. I have to push the button. So good luck.
Can Art and Crafts.
All right. So, White Marsh Brewing, they're on the show. We should talk about their can arts and crafts. It's kind of similar to Frost. There's not much going on, and that is okay. It's more, both these breweries are more in the logo world rather than the art world. And that's fine. You're still here. We're not going to push you away. We welcome inclusionary. It's what we always talk about. This research series double IPA that I have in front of me, very pretty basic, I'm going to be honest. The Frost logo is pretty dope, though. For those of you on YouTube, check it out. I've got my fun stickers. Thanks, Andrew, again. As we mentioned, the O is a hop, Beer Works, and I can't not see Heisenberg. Maybe that's something wrong with me. I just can't unsee it. But it is really nice. The logo is very big, bold. It tells you what it is. The only problem I have is the font of the beer. I mean, you have to really look. If you don't want a double, you might pick a double because all of the cans look very, very similar. For the logo, for the fun of it, for the good tasting beer, for the logo specifically, like if I'm just going off of this sticker that I have in front of me with just the logo that says Frost with the O as the hop, I'm going to give it a nice, fun 5.6 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair. As I mentioned, both these breweries, it's more on logos rather than artwork, but that is okay. We are still here. Bob Ross is here. He likes it. He enjoys it. And I dropped Bobby. Bobby. He's okay. He's fine. He's good. Everything's fine. Whew. Easy there, Bobby. And that is another edition of Can Arts and Crafts.
Flawless as always.
This beer is making me feel some type of way. And Bobby's it's slippery here in NYC. He got out of my hand. He's a tricky little bastard.
Okay, what else is on tap? We kind of talked about what they have over at Red Brick Station, but Frost Beer Works
that
again.
Blueberry beer. Oh
yeah, you could get the beer with blueberries in it. Frost Beer Works what's currently being offered, they have their Lush Double IPA, which is really big. They have a whole lineup of IPAs, Imperial IPAs. They have their Research IPAs. They have a West Coast IPA. They have their Lush Sickle, which is another double IPA.
The names are really cool. Pony Boy, Star Child.
But they do I want to just give lip service to, they do have an ESB on there, which I was just at another brewery on the West Coast yesterday talking to somebody about how the bartender there, just about how nobody does extra special bitters. Yeah. And it's such a slept on style. So it's cool that they do that. They have some stouts. They have some Imperial stouts from time to time. If you check their Instagram out, I mean, it's just the most beautiful pictures of beer ever. So there's a lot.
They got that marshmallow on top of one, it's like,
God.
I think it's a marshmallow, but it looks incredible. And I'm like, whoever the marketing person is doing a fantastic job.
Some of those beers look like ice cream floats or something, but it's like, this is a double IPA. Like, get in my mouth. But
the research series, I mean, they've got just the list, and you can even see it on like Beer Advocate too. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And what I really like is most of them. I'm looking at the list right now. I'm seeing 6% and 8%, and that's it. I'm not seeing anything less.
Well,
and
that's
I'm
the thing.
It's
like the single series, which tends to focus on a single hop, like Mosaic, Cascade. Those are 6%, and all of the doubles are 8%. It's not. It's like, no, we are. This is a double IPA, a double New England IPA, but this is the hop we're featuring, or this is like, it's just really specific, and it's honing their craft. Again, when you make these beers that have tomato in them, or chili pepper in them, or maple syrup in them, or even a bourbon barrel aged beer, which I love to death. But when you make those beers, it's easier to hide the flaws. This place is a place that is really honing their craft on what they do. They are an IPA house through and through, and they're doing it well. So,
but Steven,
yes,
have you seen some of their special / limited edition releases? More importantly, the barrel-aged Imperial Porter, the Bourbon barrel-aged Heavy Imperial Stout, and the 12.5% Tomcat barrel-aged barley wine. And just because the NBA playoffs are currently happening...
Bang! Exclamation point!
I was going to do it if you weren't. It's like, we are not making it through an episode without him showing up.
Without Mike. We need Mike.
All right, we have one last thing to do. We're running low on time, but we're going to do it anyway because that's what we do here on The Hop.
Last call.
Listen, Gabe proposed this. It was Gabe's idea. I wouldn't bring this baseball team up around anybody. It's embarrassing, but go ahead, Gabe. Go ahead.
The Yankees suck right now. Let's all agree on that. We understand. Red Sox fans, yeah, we know. It's all right. But you know what doesn't suck? Their 60-year-old Batgirl, Gwen Goldman. So in honor of their Hope Week, helping others persevere and excel, they do it every year. The New York Yankees honored a woman named Gwen Goldman. It was a dream of hers to become a Batgirl for the New York Yankees. When she was a little girl, she wrote a letter to, at the time, the general manager, Roy Hamey, when she was just a kid in Westport, Connecticut. Shout out, hometown.
Hey.
She asked to be a Batgirl. He said no. At the time, that was when, it was the norm was, women aren't allowed in sports, which is utter bullshit, but that's what it was. And Gwen's daughter found the letter, sent it in for her, and the Yankees general manager, Brian Cashman, said, hey, come over here. Come join us. So Gwen got to go on the field. She got to be the Batgirl. And during one of the games when they showed her, she threw out the first pitch. Michael Kay was talking about it. And, they were saying how when she first showed up to the dugout, she just looked in it and she just stopped and stared. And then she broke down crying because it was like a dream of hers. And it was like the coolest thing in the world. And this is so dope. She's 60 years old and is still thinking about her team and thinking about being the Batgirl for them. And they welcomed her with open arms. When they made the offer to her to come out, I think Garrett Cole was there as well. Like, hey, we're so happy you sent in the letter. Come, it's for Hope Week. And it's just a really cool thing. And I really enjoy it. Now, here's what I'm going to say. How funny would it be if she charged the mound of the other team?
Yeah, this happened on Monday, this past Monday's game. And if you aren't familiar with Monday's baseball game, that happens to be the game that that the opposing pitcher puked all over the Yankees mound because he had heat stroke. So,
it's hot, man. It's hot here.
She got to witness a lot. I also, I think it's interesting because it's like, she's looking in the dugout and she's kind of, getting emotional about it. And I totally get why. But what's interesting is it's not even the same. It's a different dugout. You know what I mean? They're in a whole new stadium than when you watch the old games. And by old, I mean games when I was growing up. And I'm not that old. I swear I'm not very old. So it's interesting, though. Those kinds of changes are it's just interesting to think about the history of the Yankees.
Yeah, especially, regarding with her life. I mean, she sent in the original request when she was 10 years old in 1961.
Yeah. What's also interesting is apparently when she got the letter and decided she was going to do this, she had to dig her Yankees jersey out of storage because she had converted to being a Mets fan for the season because the Yankees suck so much.
Ooh.
No, I'm making that up. That didn't actually happen.
But see, here's the thing. I wouldn't put it past that because...
listen, I don't even like the sport. The sport sucks. I'm in the market fully. I'm ready to go. Whoever's winning right now, I'll be maybe not
okay.
I'm fully I'll be a bandwagon fan.
Steven can say that because he, currently quote unquote living in LA. The Dodgers won last year. They won the whole thing last year.
And I watched it.
And you watched it. And
I don't care about the sport. I'm the guy who's in the market for a good sport. Football is on hiatus. I'm waiting, and honestly, once the Olympics start in a week, I might not even be paying attention to baseball anymore. But I
can't wait for the Olympics. I'm a diehard Yankees fan, and I don't care if they're winning or losing. They are my team. However, I will admit right now, ouchie. It's not looking great, boys.
No, it's got some work to do.
It's crazy because I feel like it's either one of two things. We start off strong and end poorly, or we start off poorly and end strong, but we're only winning half the time. It's a pain in the I don't know.
Well, Gwen, we are so happy that you were able to get on the field. Jokes aside, it's just it is good of the organization to fulfill this lifelong dream for her. So
yeah, for sure.
You know, a little heartwarming story to end the episode on.
For Gwen, for the Denver Tap House, and for George Stranahan, I suggest we raise the rest of our beers.
We're not going to pour it out.
We're not going to pour it out. We're going to pour it into our mouths. But yeah, for you guys, cheers.
And we have to go. Thank you guys. We've done a lot. We've been a lot of places together. But we'll be back next week for round 80.